we are in set number 2, and wow, okay, so yeah, I thought there would be random players coming out in this match because, you know, obviously it doesn't matter, but this is like seriously seriously random. So we've got Cure for teammate. I have no idea who he is. Apparently he's a Terran player. This is his first game this season. He's just like one of the practice partners on teammate, I guess. And he's going to be playing against Barracks. It's written as Barrack in the VOD title, singular. Actually, I'm going to make it Barracks, because Barracks sounds a little bit silly. And Barracks has only played 3 games this season. He's 1-2, as you can see. 1-1 in TVT. It's not terrible. So, you know, like I said, KT going to play you know, some of their weaker players, just to give them some airtime, some experience, and kind of hopefully prepare them for the playoffs when they will be required to play, most likely. And teammate deciding to send out another rookie here. This makes their 3rd rookie sent out in the last couple of weeks, and I think they just did 1 per race, right? So they started off with Real 2, who was Zerg, then they did Sang, who is Praetos, and now they're doing Cure, who's Terran. So let's see how he can do, or how he does here, rather. If he can pull off a spectacular performance like Real 2. Well, actually, I don't know if I would say Real 2's performance was spectacular. It was solid, but it was more great being bad than anything. Or is he just going to fail like Sang did? Although I think Sang played... Who did Sang play, actually? Sang played quite a strong player. Did he play... It was some Zerg, right? Anyway. Is it actually pronounced really? Oh, was I actually right about that? I said that as a joke, but I guess it is actually pronounced really. Maybe? I don't know. Anyway, we are on Jade, of course, as you saw just now. Looks like we're getting shots of all those lovely couples. Ah, I'm so jelly. And, oh, I should probably put the clock positions on my overlay. Of course, Cure is going to be the brown Terran here that we are seeing on the screen. And Barracks will be the blue Terran in the top left. Might make things annoying a little bit later, looking at the mini-map, since it is a blue tile set, but never mind. Wow, we're actually like looking for every single couple in the crowd. This camera guy, man, he's picking on us single folk. Ah, that camera guy. Hope his girlfriend dumps him tonight. I'm just kidding. Maybe. Anyway, Barracks are the natural for both players. And god damn it! This camera guy is just like, you know, screw it. It's beginning of the TVT, there's nothing going on. Let's just go crazy. Ah, terrible. Anyway, both players going through the middle of the map. Now, are they actually just checking for proxies, or are they both going to scout cross map? Ooh, barely not seeing each other. Looks like Cure is going to do a little loop-de-loop. I think they might have actually barely seen each other, but because they were both doing a circle in the middle of the map, they actually thought they came from the other corners. Look, because now they're both scouting wrong, but I'm pretty sure they saw each other's SCVs. That is quite amusing. Either way, it's mirror builds. 1 racks expand from both players. That's cool. Yep, you the man. Alright. That was at least a different response. A refreshingly original response to being shown on TV. You'd think they'd all get a little bit more excited, you know? Like the kind of, Mom, I'm on TV response, but I don't know, maybe they all go to Pro League so much that they're like weathered. They're immune to the charms of being on the big screen. And oh yes, I did forget to update the score. Thank you. Of course, Team 8 is up 1-0 at the moment. Oh, look at those guys with their fancy toys, writing signs on the iPad. I don't think that's. I think you lose some of the charm of a cheerful if it's not like handwritten on Pro League paper. You know what I mean? I don't know, maybe I'm just being like one of those old men who's like anti-technology, but seriously, I would never write a cheerful on an iPad or a phone or anything. It's gotta be handwritten. It's gotta be on like Pro League paper. Anyway, looks like factory being planted here. I think Kira took his gas a little bit faster than Barracks. The observer showed us just now. I wasn't really paying attention. I think he did, but his factory looks a little bit slower. So now I'm questioning my own memory, which is pretty shoddy. Anyway, 2 SCVs coming up for Cure. Presumably one is to scout, and the other I guess would be to proxy. But at this point, what is he going to proxy? Like a starport? That doesn't make much sense. See, he's moving to the 12 o'clock with that other SCV. It definitely looks like a proxy. There is Flash, aka God. Although he recently suffered his second loss at the hands of M18M, aka Stardust, from Air Force A's, which was hilarious. And KT actually ended up losing that match too. I didn't talk about this at the beginning of the match, but KT I think is on a 2-loss streak or something. Like they lost to CJ, which is not a big deal, but then they lost to Air Force Ace, which is kind of a big deal. Like we're going into playoff season and you're gonna lose to Air Force Ace. Like that can't be good for your confidence. But anyway, let's see what happens in this match. Oh, looks like a CV guy gonna poke around here. Just gonna see the bunker. And alright, what is he gonna make for this? Probably gonna be a drop. Yeah, okay, so there's the control tower. Probably gonna be vulture drop, maybe? Vulture drop? I think it's gonna be a vulture drop. I don't think any other drop would make much sense. Some vultures with mines, lay a few mines around the factories, kill a few SCVs, all that kind of good stuff. And looks like an academy going down for Cure. Looks like he's already got a second gas. Now, this feels... Oh! Whoa, what just happened there? Looks like a bit of a skirmish to the front. A couple of Marines dying. Nothing too serious. But I feel like Cure is taking a bit of a risk here because I don't see what he would do if Barracks was following up with, say, 1 or 2 port Wraith of his own. Like, he's getting an academy. He'll have scan, but he's not getting an armory in his main base. So he can't make Goliaths, and his starport is way far away from his base, so it would be difficult to make Wraiths to help defend. So this is somewhat of a gamble that Barracks is not doing like a 2-port follow-up. But I guess if you're a rookie player going up against a more experienced player, it's probably a good idea to take gambles. I mean, even Flash, you know, takes risks. Quite often, in fact, which is why he lost a deer. Anyway, Wraith of Cure is now going into the main base. Gonna check out what's up. Barracks has his own armory up, so he should be fine against this. Making a nice little depot farm there, building an academy at his natural, and I think he'll be just fine here. Might lose an SCV or 2, but oh wow! Very interesting. Barracks actually finding this proxy starport. That's very good game sense from Barracks. It's got to be game sense. Like I don't think he would just kind of scout around there randomly. He must have sensed that those wraiths were coming from a proxy starport. But it looks like Cloak is already finished for Cure though. So even though he's going to lose that control tower, it doesn't make a difference. Obviously, it just means he can't make dropships now. The Cloak wraiths going to do their damage. And I mean, I guess I predicted wrong. It wasn't a vulture drop. It was proxy cloaked wraiths off only 1 port though, so they're not going to do too much. And Kira's moving out with his ground army. This feels a little bit risky. I mean, Barracks has a lot of vultures on the map. If he'd laid a few good mines there at the front, he might have been able to take out a couple of these siege tanks. As it stands, looks like he's going to go in, pick off a couple of vultures, and then just retreat here. Kira actually has to be very careful. When you're playing against this mass vulture stall that Barracks is doing, obviously when you have a low unit count like this, you are still very vulnerable to spider mines, which is kind of the whole point. And oh, look at this though. Barracks has actually finally made some of those beefy units, the Goliaths and siege tanks, and he's following up with actually quite a number of units. Going to semi-contain Cure right here, although Cure preemptively sieging up on the low ground there. It's going to be a little bit careful. But yeah, to continue my point just now, once you get up to a decent number, like a full control group of Goliaths or siege tanks can easily A-move across a minefield, just because mech has instant shot. You don't, like with Dragoons you can't A-move because there's like a delay on the shooting. Like the goon has to stop and then like open his little mouth thing and then spit out the plasma ball, and then the plasma ball has to travel to the mine. So you can't A-move like that. But with Goliaths and tanks, there's no delay, so you can kill mines pretty easily. But when you only have 2 or 3 tanks, though, that is quite risky. If you trigger like 4 mines at once, you're gonna lose all your tanks. Anyway, Kure gonna move up here. And looks like Barracks is actually just going to give up this position. I guess he doesn't have siege mode yet, in fact, because he hasn't sieged up yet. It's got to mean his siege mode isn't finished. So he's actually not going to be able to grab this position nice and early. And in the meantime, Kure is already mining at his 3rd. I think Barracks is taking it now, but Kure definitely getting it faster. And just kind of slowly but surely pushing Barracks back. Barracks now has his own siege mode, so he's going to kind of hold that position there. Kure going to back up a bit, in fact. And, oh, looks like Barracks is now going for it. The Vulture's moving in. The tank's moving up. Is he actually close enough to range all those tanks? I'm not sure. I think he has to back up now. Yeah, I think if he moved just a couple of hexes closer, it might have been super effective. But either way, he's grabbing a nice position here on the high ground. This is going to be extremely annoying for Kure. I mean, he still can sneak Vultures and the like around the sides, as you can see. But, oh, looks like a few spider mines of Barracks going to spot that, and Barracks going to easily be able to defend with his own Vultures. Although, Kure might be able to delay this 3rd expansion a little bit if he can snipe that SCV. I think he will, yep. Going to run in here, and actually, so this actually shows that Kure's 3rd is so much faster than Barracks. I don't even understand, like, why, has Barracks not scouted that? He must have not scouted that, but that's a little bit surprising. Like, he could have at least scanned it or something. Because that 3rd, I can't imagine is too well defended. It's probably got like a wall-in and a siege tank at most. So Kure is in a really nice position. Looks like Kure actually gonna wall this in with a starport and some other building there. I didn't see what he clicked. And ooh, that's not good though. Oh man, this is actually, oh, that was so bad. Alright, what just happened is Kure did not have anything spotting for his siege tanks, so Barracks actually used the trick where he had his Barracks spotting for his siege tanks, so he unsieged, moved into range of Kure's siege tanks, but Kure didn't have vision onto the high ground there, so he couldn't see the siege tanks. So Barracks managed to siege up and get the first shot anyway, and he was on the high ground, so Kure just lost a ton of siege tanks there for no reason, and now Barracks is going into the 3rd here. Kure's wall there is not actually a wall, so that's not very good. And he's actually might even lose his starport here. His engineering bay is not going to finish. I mean, Kure is kind of getting dominated in this game by Barracks, who is not exactly a top-level Terran. I mean, he's okay, but, you know, it's not like he's getting taken out by Gosu TV tier like, I don't know, Fantasy or Flash or Lita or whatever. And just gonna walk another tank in a range there. Oh man. So Kure, I mean, you know, he had that extra income there for a little bit. He can kind of ride that for the next minute or so, but I mean, if you just look at supplies, Barracks is like 30 supply ahead. Kure is kind of doing a last-ditch attack here along the left side, but Barracks getting tanks into position, and that's going to stop that. He should not walk in there. Alright, good. Manages to at least save all his siege tanks. Does lose all the supporting Vultures, though. And, oh wow, that's a lot of idle SCVs. Holy moly, I think he's got like 10 idle SCVs between his 2 command centers. Wow, that is quite uncharacteristic of a pro gamer. I mean, I can understand, like, there's a lot of stuff going on in the game, but when was the last time you guys saw 6 idle SCVs at 1 command center? Wow. Ugh. Anyway. Well, that actually just threw me off a lot. Looks like Barracks just kind of solidifying his position here. He's got units at Kure's 3rd. He's kind of closing off this left side edge. Kure has managed to kind of establish a position, so he can take that 6 o'clock, 6:30ish base if he wants. But, I mean, Barracks just has a pretty overwhelming advantage right now. Kira looks like he's actually managed to secure that wide ramp. So he can, I guess, in theory, take the bottom left 2 bases as well. But I don't think he'll be able to hold that, though. It's basically going to come down to like when Barracks decides to actually make a move. So, Kira moving up the right side, that does get spotted. Oh no, looks like he's just going to try and flank these siege tanks here. And he's going to do it. Oh, there's only 3 tanks there anyway, 4 tanks. But, oh man, Barracks flanking the flank, and that mine's going to be, well, it's just not going to go off. Alright, whatever. And wow, Barracks actually crushing that flank move. Although Kira at least manages to clean up on the high ground, so he will reestablish his position, secure his third once again. With all those tanks there, that's actually going to be quite difficult for Barracks to attack, so he's just going to back up here. And Kira's actually already got his 4th base up, so you know, despite Barracks having a pretty nice advantage for the whole game, Kira's expansions have always been faster. That might, I guess, contribute to his smaller army count, and that's why he's getting contained. But that's kind of interesting, you know. It's like, oh, I'm getting contained, my army's getting owned. I better expand again. Well, I guess that's how I play, so yeah, it's a good idea. Anyways, Barracks has decided to just A move now into the natural. Interestingly, I think it looks like Kira actually dedicated too many units to like the 3rd base and to the bottom leftish area, so didn't actually have that much stuff to protecting his natural. So now he's actually properly contained here. He can't get out of that wide ramp anymore. He can only get out of the narrow ramp at his 3rd. And looks like Barracks going to do a big drop here behind the minerals at the 630-ish base. You can't siege tanks under the cliff here, and if he just scans there, yep, there's the scan. He will be able to shell that command center from the low ground. Of course, I'm actually a little bit surprised he didn't make an engineering bay there or something that he could use, that he could just lift and spot onto the high ground, because if he's not good about scanning there regularly, Cure, goddamn, Cure will be able to just move his siege tanks onto the high ground and cliff all those other tanks. Anyways, looks like Cure gonna move up here. Doesn't have enough stuff to actually take it. I mean, he's trying his hardest. He's playing his little rookie heart out, but he's at 140 supply against the maxed Barracks. Barracks is kind of trying to choke the life out of him here. Of course, it's not easy to finish a game in TBT, so I think we're just gonna have to actually wait for Cure to starve out. Probably not gonna GG too early, considering it's like his first televised game this season. His first game this season. I don't know if he's played on TV before for like another team, but maybe not. That was Reach, by the way, in case you didn't know. Just on the off chance that you didn't recognize that manly, handsome, rugged face. That was the Mantos. And ooh, look at this. Cure going for an attack here, trying to break the contain. Looks like he will be successful, but getting counter dropped in his main base. Oh man, spider mines all over the factories. Oh, losing 2 tanks as they pop. And he's going to just pull some SCVs here to fight this, but that's not going to work out too well. Cure is on his last legs. He's going to hold on. It's not over till Fantasy GG's, guys. And so it looks like the camera guy's bored, so he's just going to give us face shots of Reach for a while. GG from Cure, and Barracks taking it down here. I hope Reach comes out next, actually. I hope that's what that means. I mean, KT's already in the playoffs. They might as well send out Reach. They might as well. Looks like Reach reminding Barracks that he needs to go grab one of those lottery balls. I still don't know what those are for, actually. Does anybody know what those are for? Because the KT guys always grab them when they win. Do you get like a random prize, an extra prize if you win on KT? I don't know. Anyway, let us go on to the next game. Kid says you get a signed hat.
A new age is
That's
coming.
interesting.